Castle Crashers is one of those special games that I feel like everyone's played at one point or another. I remember this game as one of the best beat-em-ups ever, but I also haven't played this game in about 10 years. So is nostalgia clouding my vision? And more importantly, does this game hold up from a designer's perspective? In the simplest of terms, a designer is tasked with making sure the player isn't bored with any aspect of their game. No matter if it's a game, art, or sound designer, they each work towards making the game not play, look, or sound boring. So this will be the merit I am judging Castle Crashers on while from this perspective. Castle Crashers' core gameplay that you will be doing on a minute-to-minute basis is beating a wide variety of people up. Now, the side-scrolling beat-em-up genre is one of the easiest to create a boring game in. Initially being designed as a quarter muncher at an arcade, these games often suffered from unbalanced movesets, repetitive actions, and huge difficulty spikes, ensuring you spent plenty of quarters on the game. Though that never really mattered because the biggest appeal of these games was that you could play with friends. Plus, it gave a power fantasy of someone being able to beat up hundreds of dudes all in one day, something akin to action stars, which gave a different experience than being alone at the Pac-Man cabinet running away from the action. Though as home consoles became popular, the beat-em-up genre had a negative relationship and declined in popularity as many people didn't want to spend their time on these games anymore, and the genre soon began to die out. So to see a modern beat-em-up not only being made, but also sidestep all of the missteps of its ancestors is truly a wonder. The behemoth either definitely knew what they were doing or got extremely lucky because this is one of the most addictive gameplay loops out there. There are quite a few ways to beat guys up. You have standard light attack, heavy attack, the combos they create, and the juggling mechanic that proves to be quite satisfying. Each character has differing magical abilities and a bow that nobody uses. As you go further into the game, there's a great sense of progression as you can either become stronger, gain new magical abilities, become tankier, or faster with every level up. The difficulty curve also is a steady increase rather than spikes, meaning you never feel overpowered or underpowered. It's just right, at least for the first playthrough. However, this is one of those few games where it actually makes sense to play through again. Many games give you the option to run it back, inciting rewards and whatnot, but usually that game is over 10 plus hours, and also doesn't give you a brand new character to play with. With a 2 to 5 hour playthrough, depending on how ass you are, it is quite easy to get a few friends on, playing different characters than before, and having just as much fun as the first playthrough. Alongside beating a slew of enemies up, there are quite a few gameplay features that both enhance the experience and help replayability. First, you have boss fights, obviously. Each is varied and unique. Some are better than others, but none of them are really bad or unfair. In fact, the final level has some of the best boss battles in the game, which, yeah, games should have their best battles at the end. Though some games forget this. Pets and weapons act as secrets and collectibles you can find throughout your run-through to gain buffs on different aspects of your character's stats or abilities. Each of these different weapons and pets are both varied and unique in their looks, and aren't just a stat modifier with a different color. The game also surprisingly has a great economy, where so many games are eager to give you thousands of dollars so you never feel poor, like in real life. Castle Crashers actually treats coins as valuable. You need them to buy the necessary health potions, bombs, and sandwiches, and when you have those needs met, there are pets and weapons you can buy as well. This makes the boss battles much more satisfying and rewarding to complete, as once you defeat a boss, a giant chest drops on their head and rains down numerous gems and coins to gain. There's also a neat little subversion of this with the final battle where a chest drops on the evil wizard's head, and out pops a giant fucking spider! After you grab all the valuables, Castle Crashers has one of the greatest endings to a level ever. When you finally save a princess from the boss, the comrades you've been playing the entire game with all fight each other over the princess's kiss. I find it so funny how we can all be side by side defeating hundreds of baddies, but the second a real baddie is there, we go apeshit over her. Overall, Castle Crashers is one of the most tightly designed games of the 360 era. All fun, no filler. Each aspect of this game is nicely woven into gameplay, which causes the game to be very well paced. Even though the action never really lets up, there are always great variations within the action that make it feel fresh and new. Castle Crashers rightly deserves a W in game design. The art design is Castle Crashers' greatest asset. All the animations and graphics were made in Adobe Flash. But nobody cares about Flash games anymore, so some wizard made an engine solely for Castle Crashers and their Flash assets to help run on the 360.
What the fuck? What the... Shut up!
The many particle effects make the brain happy. There is a ton of variety for each level you go through. No level is ever really visually boring. The jokes told throughout the game are both juvenile and well thought out. In fact, the story is almost solely told through the environment.
Dude, I can't wait to check on it.
At the start of the game, all of our characters are dancing the night away, and then one of our comrades falls down the stairs and no one goes to check on him because, hey, we got some castles to crash. Or wait, we're saving the castle. Oh, these are the Castle Crashers. This is the environmental storytelling you will see throughout the game. A bird shitting itself because something big and scary is on its way. The Ice King keeping its meat frozen in the walls because even a dude made of ice has gotta eat. The boss's friend couldn't help during the fight because he was already fighting demons in the bathroom. There is a great deal of care given with each level to make sure they are enjoyable to run through, and the storytelling of Castle Crashers reminds me of the LEGO Star Wars games. It isn't a very nuanced plot, but the way the story is told is both incredibly humorous and engaging. This is another W for Castle Crashers. Our final segment is with the sound design and music. All the weapons sound slashy and beefy. The magical abilities are nice to listen to. And when you hit multiple enemies at once, it rivals this video in satisfaction. The boss's quips are amateurish but humorous and gives the enemies character. However, the music is probably one of the best soundtracks of any game ever. Every song I'll hear and vividly remember where that song takes place during the game. I believe that is a sign of a great soundtrack. Along with being tonally accurate for the gameplay, catchy, triumphant when it needs to, enjoyable to listen to. To conclude, this game is the epitome of passion and talent, along with a bit of luck. Several run-throughs can be done with the game before it ever starts to be stale. And even when you do hit that point, there's an insanity mode that just completely changes the game. The levels are incredibly varied with so much background detail that you almost have to go through the game again to see everything the levels have to offer. There's so much going on throughout the game, but it's controlled chaos. My memory proves me right, as this is one of the best beat-em-ups ever made, and my favorite 360 game to come out. As much nostalgia as I have for Castle Crashers, there's a very good reason for why I'm so nostalgic. The power fantasy that I mentioned in the intro is so well realized that with as much wackiness as this game has, it's still quite easy to just get lost into this world and see yourself as your character. I will not tell you how many times me and my brother roleplayed in this game because it is a very alarming amount of times. Castle Crashers is still a very special game, and this is why I believe there will never be a sequel. Mostly because how do you improve this game? Castle Crashers accomplished everything it set out to be. There's no real reason to go back into the universe and muddy things up just for some cash. Wow, way too many franchises do this. The best case scenario for a sequel would be Castle Crashers with different maps. And for many people, I'm sure that's enough. But the Behemoth is one of those developers that wants to create unique experiences with every different game.
So I've always said that I don't want to revisit something unless it would be significantly different and that I know what I'd want to do with it or want to try with it, because more of the same is not something that we want to do. Like anytime we visit a genre, we want to try introducing something else. We want to put a spin on it and make it feel like something you haven't played before.
So if you want more Castle Crashers, just go back and play it. The community is still alive and well, and that's honestly one of the more surprising things about this. But that just goes to show how special this game is to people. Oh my god, I gotta take a shit. Thanks for watching, you guys. This is a new series that I'm gonna try and keep on doing. If y'all have any feedback, just let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Well, you better have enjoyed the video. You went to the end. You're here talking to me right now. You're the only person probably listening to this. Anyways, I'm leaving. Peace.